Hi, friends. I'm David, and today I've got some really good healing, restorative yoga that will help you relieve and prevent sciatic pain or sciatica. I have some special stretches that will help give you immediate relief, and I have some movements that will help strengthen your hips and glutes, your low back, and your core to help you prevent future sciatica flare-ups and keep you pain-free. Sound good? All right, let's get started. Okay, before we start, I want to remind you that there are many different causes of sciatic pain, and not all stretches and exercises are appropriate for all conditions. So if you've had an injury, if you've been diagnosed with a specific condition, if you've had surgery, it's always best to check with your doctor first, okay? If you do choose to try these stretches and exercises, the most important thing is simply listen to your body. If the stretches are healing and beneficial for you, they will feel good, right? Maybe you'll feel a little pulling or a little pressure, but in a good way. Never, ever push yourself into pain or into positions that feel painful, right? Pain is your body telling you need to ease off, or maybe you need to skip that stretch completely. Listen to your body. I want you to stay safe. Okay, let's go ahead and make your way to your back. Find your way all the way to your back. Bring the soles of your feet together and let the knees fall wide and begin to move your heels toward your sit bones just enough so that this position feels relatively comfortable for you, right? So you find that sweet spot. And then place one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly. Close your eyes and just breathe big full breaths in and out through your nose. Relax into each breath and feel the gentle pull of gravity pulling the outsides of your thighs down, opening up the hips. Feel any tightness or tension in the body dissolving into your breath. And feel the weight of your whole body melting into the mat. The earth supporting you. All tension and stress melting away, dissolving into your breath, melting into the earth. Breathe into your low back. Feel the breath expand into your belly and into your low back. Feel the low back pressing softly into the mat. A few more breaths. Relax, soften, and let go. As you exhale, bring your hands along your sides and bring your knees together. Take your feet wide on the mat so the feet are kind of aligned with the outside edges of the mat. Knees are touching in the middle. Just begin to wash your knees back and forth. This is a nice little gentle release into the low back and the hips. So soft and slow, just letting the knees kind of fall to one side and then the other. And continue breathing into the low back, breathing into your hips. And bring the knees back upright, feet hip distant apart here. And place the left ankle on the right thigh and go ahead and flex the left foot. Now stay here for a moment and feel the low back gently pushing into the mat and your tailbone gently extending forward toward the front of your mat. So it's almost a sensation of your spine lengthening, right? The crown of your head reaching to the top of the mat, and then the tailbone reaching toward the opposite side of the mat, and the low back gently pushing down. Feel that sensation. Now, continuing to feel the low back pushing down, tailbone extending forward. We're going to gently, maybe you stay here. If you're feeling some stretch in the outside of the left hip here, wonderful, okay? This is a great place to stay. An option to take it a little deeper is to start to draw this right knee in, just a little bit at first. Maybe you interlace the hands behind the right hamstring. And again, close your eyes and bring your attention to your low back. Feel the low back pressing down into the mat, and the tailbone extending forward, long spine. Relax and breathe. And now maybe this is where you stay, or you can take it a little deeper still by interlacing the hands in front of the right shin. But again, keep coming back to the low back and the hips pressing down into the mat. If you find that you feel the butt lifting off the mat, then come back to a more gentle stretch. Relax, close your eyes, and breathe. Imagine each inhale and feeling your breath wash into the hips, into the low back. Relax your shoulders, whole spine melting into the earth. Now this stretch is not really about pulling the right knee in as close as you can. It's about keeping the low back firmly on the mat, extending the tailbone forward, and then pulling the right knee in just enough to feel the stretch. Exhale. Release your hands. Both feet come down to the mat. Again, feet wide, knees together. And let's wash the knees back and forth a couple times. Arms can be out to the side here or along your sides. And we keep coming back to this gentle release in the low back. This is so good. If you ever feel sciatica flaring up, you can just come to your back and do this. Washing the knees back and forth. It's a really nice release and relief. And then coming back, feet on the mat, knees pointing up. We'll do the other side. So right foot stays on the mat, or left foot stays on the mat this time. Right ankle to the left thigh. Flex that right foot. Stay here for a breath or two, feeling the low back pressing into the mat. Maybe this is where you stay. Beautiful. Maybe you want to deepen a little bit. Drawing that left knee in just enough so you feel a little stretch the outside of the right hip, but you feel the low back continuing to push down, tailbone extending forward. And you just draw that left knee in just enough to keep the low back down. Close your eyes, breathe, relax. Again, send your breath into the low back, into the hips. Feel each inhale washing your hips and low back in breath. And imagine each exhale letting go of tension, tightness. Relax the muscles of your face, your cheeks, your jaw. Exhale, release both feet down to the ground. Once again, feet wide on the mat, knees together, and just begin to wash the knees gently and softly back and forth. And bring both knees back upright, feet hip distant apart. We're going to move into what's called a reclined Gomukhasana or cow face pose. This is a really great stretch in the outside of the hip, the external rotator muscles, the piriformis, the gluteus medius, and stretching those muscles, opening and lengthening, helps to open up the space or the pathway that the sciatic nerve runs, and it gives you relief, and it's so good. Okay. All right, so first we're going to cross the right thigh over the left. Now, once again, feel the low back pressing down into the mat. Relax. Feel the whole spine grounded. Maybe this is where you stay. That's wonderful. If you want to deepen, you're going to start to bring both knees in. You can grab just below both knees, the top of the calf muscle, and start to pull the knees toward the chest. Now, where you're going to feel the stretch here is in the top, the outside hip of the top leg. Close your eyes, breathe, relax. And again, let the low back ground into the mat. Now, you can deepen here. Of course, you can stay if this feels like enough stretch, or you can deepen by walking the hands down toward the ankles. Flex the feet and pull towards you. Or if you want to go deeper still, you can grab the outside edges of both feet here. Keep the feet flexed. That helps protect the knees. Don't let the ankles roll to the outside. And then close your eyes, breathe. And again, let the low back find its way down to earth. The shoulders find their way down to earth. If you feel like the butt's lifting or your head is lifting, then don't go so deep. Come back to the calves. Close your eyes and breathe. As you exhale, release gently, slowly, release the feet down to the mat. Again, feet wide, knees together, arms to the side. Wash the knees back and forth, coming back to this sweet little release that lets any accumulated tension dissolve. And let's take it to the other side. So, feet hip distant apart, and this time cross the left thigh over the right. Stay here for a moment. Notice, feel, listen to your body. What is it telling you? Maybe stay here, or take it a little deeper by drawing the knees toward the chest. Again, you can grab just below the knees, the top of the calves, and let the feet kind of come out to the sides a little bit here. Flex your feet. And you can take it deeper by walking the hands toward the ankles, grabbing toward the ankles and pulling towards you, or grab the outside edges of the feet. But remember, keep the low back firmly planted on the ground, the shoulders firmly planted. Close your eyes and breathe. Exhale. Release the feet slowly and carefully. And bring the feet back down to the outsides of the mat. Knees together, and let's wash back and forth. Big full breaths. Let your breath take you to a place of stillness and ease. Bring the knees back together at the top. Feet stay wide on the mat for this next one. This next one, we're going to get into the QL muscle, or the quadratus lumborum. That's the muscle in the low back that lives between the top of the hip bone and the bottom of the ribs. And we're also going to get into the outside of the hip once again, but in a slightly different place. So from here, keeping the feet wide on the mat, let both knees fall to the left. Again, the feet stay wide here. Arms out to the sides. Relax and breathe. Just let gravity do the work, pulling the knees and the thighs down. And let gravity kind of pull down on this right hip. Now, the right sit bone is going to lift a little bit here, but that's okay. Just let gravity kind of pull down toward earth. Now, maybe this is where you stay. Wonderful. Or you can place the left ankle on top of the right thigh, just above the knee, flex that left foot, and let gravity and the weight of the left leg pull down on that right leg and pull the right hip down toward the mat. And you're going to feel that stretch in the low back on the right side and the outside of the hip on the right side. Breathe into it, relax. The right knee is bent here, and you're on the inside of the right ankle. Right foot is flexed. Breathe and relax. As you inhale, release the left foot off that right thigh if it's on, and then both feet wide on the mat, knees together. And again, let's come back to this washing right and left. And now let both knees fall to the right. Again, both knees are bent here. Both feet are flexed, arms to the side. And just notice here, pay attention, relax, feel gravity pulling the hips down. Left sit bone will be lifted a little bit here, that's okay. But the left shoulder is down. You can stay here or deepen by placing that right ankle on top of the left thigh. Flex the right foot. And then let the weight of the right leg pull down, and you'll feel that stretch across the low back on the left side, the left ribs, and into the left hip. It's really good. Breathe and relax. Keep relaxing. Let the muscles of the face, the cheeks, the jaw soften and relax. Whole body melting into the mat. As you inhale, release the right foot off that left thigh. Again, feet wide on the mat, knees together. Let's wash back and forth a few more times. And bring both knees back upright, feet hip distant apart. So now we're going to move into a little bit of a strengthening exercise. These are glute bridges. And these honestly are one of the most effective exercises to help prevent future sciatica flare-ups, chronic sciatica. And what we're doing here, we're strengthening the muscles of the glutes, the hips, the core, the low back. So good, so good. So, feet hip distance apart. Draw the heels in toward your sit bones just enough so that you can touch your heels just barely with the fingertips. So now I'm going to demonstrate what this looks like, and then we'll do it together. Very slow and controlled motion in these glute bridges, okay? So we're going to press through the heels. And again, I'm just going to demonstrate here, and then we'll do them together in a minute. Press through the heels and begin to lift the hips. We're pressing into the earth to lift the hips. Now we're just going to lift up enough so that we have a nice flat line across the belly, across the hips, all the way through the knees. What you don't want to do is press so high that you're arching the back. Don't want to do that. That defeats the purpose, and it will actually make your low back pain worse, right? So just enough to get a nice long line across the belly and the hips through the knees. And then 3 things at the top. We're going to gently squeeze the glutes, gently hug the inner thighs inward, and gently push into the earth and push through the knees out in the direction that the knees are pointing, right? So 3 things. Gently squeeze the glutes, gently hug the inner thighs in, and gently push into the earth and push through the knees, and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and come down. And then we're going to go right back up and do it again. We're going to do 5 sets, holding at the top for 5. Okay, here we go. Slow and controlled, pushing through the heels, lifting, pushing, lifting, just enough until you get that nice straight line across through the knees. And now, gently squeeze the glutes, gently hug the inner thighs in, gently push the heels in and extend outward through the knees for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly lower, nice and slow. As soon as the butt touches the mat, we push into the heels and take it right back up to that Goldilocks zone at the top here. And then again, gentle squeeze the glutes, gently hug the thighs in, extend through the knees for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly come down. Very slow, we're moving. Butt kisses the mat, and then we push through the heels, slowly lifting back up. Once we're at the top, squeeze the glutes, push the heels into the mat, hug the thighs in for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly come down. That's 3. We got 2 more. Kiss at the bottom and come right back up, moving slow, pushing into the earth. Hold at the top, squeeze the glutes, hug the thighs in, push through the heels for 5, 4, 3, 2. Slowly lower all the way down. When your low back meets the mat, hug both knees into your chest. And let's take a little sweet rock side to side. Nice work. This rocking motion side to side is very soothing for the central nervous system. It helps us to relax and move out of fight or flight mode and into rest and digest mode. Come to stillness, take your feet up in the air. Let's work into happy baby here. So grab the outside edges of the feet. Let the feet open as wide as they naturally want to. And then pull down gently on the feet, angling the knees into the armpits. And let your low back make its way all the way down to the mat. Close your eyes. And let's come back to rocking motion, side to side. Big, full, deep breaths. Come back upright. As you exhale, release your feet and extend your legs long on the mat. We're going to move into Shavasana, but I have a couple recommendations or options for you here. So my main recommendation is to take the feet up the wall, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to meet you over with the feet up the wall. When I had my sciatica flare-ups, just resting with my feet up the wall really did wonders for giving my low back space and just opening things up in the hips. So that's option number one. If you know you don't like that, or if you find that that's uncomfortable for you, option number two is to place a pillow under the knees, arms along your sides. And pillow under the knees helps to give your low back a little relief, and that can be sweet too, okay? So I'm going to meet you against the wall. If you know you just want to melt into Shavasana, go ahead and do that right now. Okay, here we are against a nice solid wall. And to get my legs up there, I'm going to scoot my sit bones all the way, or the outside of my hip, all the way against the wall. And then just sweep the legs around and up. Once I'm up, scoot your sit bones as close as you can to the wall. Ideally, you want to feel the wall against your sit bones here. Legs straight up. Now, if you have a strap, you can tie a strap around your legs here to help support. And then arms along your sides. Close your eyes and just let yourself melt into a sweet Shavasana. Slowly begin to bring some movement to your fingers and your toes. your wrists and ankles. As you inhale, reach your hands overhead, and with a great big stretch, breathe and feel the breath washing through the body. Exhale, knees into chest. And roll to your right side. Gently push yourself up to a seat at the top of your mat. Bring your palms together at your heart. Close your eyes. Relax the shoulders. And raise your thumb knuckle to the point between your brow. We bow to one another in light and love. Namaste. I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope that this practice has given you some relief and some hope. I know sciatica can be awful and debilitating, and my greatest hope is that this helps you in some way. So please leave a comment if it does, and I'll see you soon. Thanks.